Good evening. Some tremendous results from last month's programme, including the armed robbery on the rectory in Norfolk, and one case we frankly thought had so little to go on, it was unlikely to get a response. It was a murder, and we'll tell you more about it in a moment, but we do hope to solve another murder first. Also tonight, we've some crystal clear pictures of people caught in the act on camera, news of a hunt for 3 men who've been raiding isolated houses in the countryside, and reports from Aberdeen, which may tonight identify a sex offender. And finally, you might recognise a treasured possession tonight in our Aladdin's cave.
But we start looking for some burglars. Operation Christmas Cracker was that nationwide dragnet against burglars and receivers, and it's shown how effective targeted policing can be. It's not just a minor crime they're going after, as anyone who's had a break-in knows. In this case, though, it led to the most serious consequences of all. It's another tragic case where a knife has led to someone being killed.
Foxtrot TOA, 2nd Avenue. Got a man seriously injured. Need an ambulance on the hurry up, please.
That's very distinctive, you say, Scott.
Yes, sir. Seems to have left behind. There appears to be some markings on the handle, sir.
Right, just back it up, Scott, and we'll look at it later, and we'll protect the tip. He was stabbed. I think you better see this. Where was it? Inside the house. We haven't found the knife, but we're starting a wider search now. Scott, will you deal with that?
Yes, sir.
John Eden was 48, a floor tiler. He'd been divorced for 17 years and lived alone in Enfield in North London, close to one of his 2 daughters.
He used to brighten everyone's day up all the time because he was just so full of life and used to make everyone laugh all the time. He was never ever a sad man, and no matter what crowd he was put in, he would get on with everyone.
3,762.
Well, it's the biggest crowd and half.
He was just like a 23-year-old, really. Just used to have fun all the time. He lived each day for each day. He was the best dad in the world. Not just a dad, though, was he? He was my friend as well.
I was just driving round to John's to pick him up to go out for a drink.
I don't want to be too late for you, Mr. Johnson. I'm a bit knackered.
Yeah, I've got to be up early in the morning myself.
You have as well?
Upstairs, John's neighbours, Tina and Andy, were staying in and, ironically, were watching last month's programme.
Well, the phones have been very busy. We've had a number of calls on the murder of Don Herbert, some suggestions for who Dave may be, and also a suggestion for who the man wearing the red hat may be. In the Norfolk robbery, one...
But don't forget, we'll be back tonight with Crimewatch Update at 11:15. And if you can't stay up till then, please, don't have nightmares, do sleep well. Good night.
I'm gonna have a bath.
In the nightclub, he was laughing and joking. Nothing out of the ordinary at all. Just an ordinary night out with all the boys and just having a drink and having a good time.
You set the alarm?
John normally stayed until the early hours, but he wanted an early night and was taken home by another friend of his soon after midnight.
Lovely, John. Right, so I'll give you a bell on Saturday, yeah?
Wherever you like, John, wherever you
All
like,
right,
yeah.
lovely. Thanks for the lift, all right?
Oh, no worries.
God bless.
Okay, take care.
I heard a big bang from underneath our room. I caught a glimpse of a man wearing light-coloured clothing, light trousers and a light jacket, I think.
Please, please.
As I looked down the street, I could see a car in the middle of a three-point turn. I just happened to glance down. I didn't recognise it as being John downstairs. Andy! Andy!
The police had traced John's call and arrived within 3 minutes.
John had been stabbed with a hunting knife. Mr. Chaplain, how serious is the risk for householders generally of this sort of thing?
Well, fortunately, most burglaries are committed in the daylight hours and not at night time. And fortunately, most burglars don't carry weapons like we've got in this case.
So, I mean, most of us fear burglaries at night, but it's during daylight hours that the big problem is.
That is when most of the burglaries committed.
And this weapon, I mean, this is a replica of one that was used to kill John Eden. This was not an implement used to break in. I mean, this is a deliberate this was defensive or aggressive weapon.
Yes, that's right. It was carried by the person, I think, to actually effect his escape.
Now, you're not sure I know which colour handle it's got, but you're pretty sure it's one of these two knives. They're both from the same manufacturer.
That's correct, yes. One has a black handle and the other has an olive-coloured handle, both made in Spain by a manufacturer named of Muller. And
one's got ALCE on it, LC, the other's got Muller on it. And, of course, you recovered the sheath that this came in. Here are the tools that he did use to get into the house, or they used. Not a lot of help, this bolster. It's not very distinctive, but this screwdriver really is. Tell us about this in the paintwork here.
Yes, it's an R&S 9-inch screwdriver with a red handle, but in the handle is burnt in by a soldering iron, we believe, the name Paul.
Paul? Yeah. Now, what do you know about the man?
We don't know anything about this screwdriver apart from the fact that it's got white paint on it. But what we're looking to do is connect the items all together with a team of professional burglars that are operating in North London.
You think these are sort of jobbing burglars? This wasn't a one-off?
No, we think they are actually a team of burglars that are actually operating together.
OK, the car that they might have made off in could have been entirely innocent, of course, the one doing a three-point turn.
That's right. It could have been parked there by somebody unconnected. It's a large silver-coloured or light-coloured car, modern in shape with rounded corners.
OK. This was a very, very vicious crime, apart from the fact there was obviously one resulting in death, because there were 5, 6, 7 or 8, I think, stab wounds altogether. If you can help, please call the studio now. This is the free call number 0500 600 600. If you prefer, you can ring detectives at the incident room in Edmonton. They're on 0181 345 4361. That's 0181 345 4361.
Well, I promised some news earlier about arrests since last month's programme. No fewer than 8 cases have produced 12 results for fraud, robbery and murder. Now, the most unexpected was prompted by an emotional appeal by Debbie Sullivan, whose husband Tony had been stabbed outside a London nightclub. Frankly, police had almost nothing to work with until a viewer who was moved by what Debbie had to say rang in to say that they'd seen something that might identify the killer. Well, I can now tell you that a man has now been charged with Tony's death.
Another man has been arrested and charged with grievous bodily harm and robbery after 40 viewers helped to trace him to an address in South London. There's been an arrest too on the thefts from golf clubhouses which led to card and cheque crimes. A man has been charged with conspiracy to defraud. 3 other deceptions have led to charges of burglary and other offences, and viewers suggested names for the men who raided a building society in Colwyn Bay. As a direct result, 2 men have now been charged.
And you may recall this, the robbery at an old rectory in Norfolk. About 100 viewers called, resulting in a flurry of activity. A man was charged last week in connection with the robbery, and inquiries are still ongoing. You may also have seen the Cook report. Well, their intervention led to 4 arrests and 3 charges of handling stolen goods. There's more to tell you on other cases too, but let's move on for now. Here's Superintendent David Hatcher.
Police in Essex are anxious to trace a couple who've been operating a very unpleasant con on would-be holidaymakers. Their victims include a honeymoon couple who arrived in Florida to find the villa they'd booked there didn't exist. Here are the culprits. They called themselves Mr. and Mrs. Rennie. He's 45 to 50, 5'8", thin with fair hair and may have a moustache. The woman is slightly younger, medium height and of large build. If you know who they are or where they are, you can call Chelmsford CID on 01245 491 212. That's Chelmsford 491 212. And now to a series of robberies which may be connected. This man has just held up a building society at Wembley in North London. He claimed he had a gun and spoke with an Irish accent. Notice the security shutters which went up. Shutters foiled another raid nearby at Burnt Oak. This man is in his 20s, 5'10" and ginger-haired. Here he is in Harlesden, where again he fled empty-handed. Who is he? Finally, to another raid at Burnt Oak for this man. Here's another view of him. He's aged 25, about 5'10", with a hare lip. If you recognise any of them, call us now on 0500 600 600. That's 0500 600 600.
And now to Aberdeen. Over the last year, one man has caused a great deal of distress and anxiety there. Police have now asked Crimewatch to help. Maybe you can tell us who he is.
It was Easter time and I came up to Aberdeen for the holidays, and on that particular day I decided to go for a jog along the beach. A few seconds later I heard someone running up behind me, and as I turned round he was right behind me and he grabbed a hold of me, and the next thing I knew my head was cracking off the concrete and I was flat on my back. He had one hand on my neck, which was very firmly pressing me onto the ground. What was going through my head was instantly to get this man off me, and I screamed as loud as I possibly could, and I was kicking with my legs. I had one free hand and I scratched his face as much as I could move my arm.
Ian, someone wants you to stop.
That man, he attacked me over there. He's getting away.
Come in. Are you all right? You'll be all right. Just calm down.
Bravo 81, could you attend at the beach promenade, the River Don end? It's a report of a female having just been assaulted.
Don't hesitate to call out if you think you see him.
Yeah, I will.
I was on duty the weekend this incident came in, and we immediately thought back to the previous December when we had a very similar sexual assault that took place on Balgownie Beach, not far from this one. The victim, who was also a young student, she described her attacker as being in his early 20s, 5'6" to 5'8", very slim, fit build, and with short dark brown hair. The description provided by the second victim enabled us to compile a second EFIT. Although there are obvious differences between that and the first one, particularly in relation to the glasses, the general height, age, hair colouring and build are very alike. And I have to say, at that stage, we had a strong line of thought that it was one man who had committed both attacks.
I'd returned to Aberdeen after the summer break. I was starting my third year at university. I left my digs to go to Balgownie Beach for a walk.
As per usual, like every other Saturday morning, I always take my dogs along the Balgownie Beach for a walk. Just before I turned to walk back, a girl passed me coming from the opposite direction. Just at that point, she was overtaken by this chap who went running past. He looked a bit flustered. There was something about his manner and appearance that suggested he was not a jogger.
I'd locked up my bike and had been walking in the dunes for a little while when a jogger passed me. There were a few other people around. I even recognised two friends who were walking down on the beach but decided not to run down and see them.
Kirsty was grabbed from behind and sexually assaulted.
He was in his mid to late 20s, medium build, about 5'9", with dark brown short hair and a deep voice with a Scottish accent.
Can you help me, please? There's a man. I'm afraid he's going to come after me.
Oh, yeah? Do you want me to walk you back?
I was just walking along the beach and he came up behind me and he grabbed me and...
It's okay, it's okay.
He pushed me down.
After the latest attack, we were convinced that the man was involved in the previous incidents. We were also very concerned at the level of violence shown by him during this attack. He had become much more aggressive. However, given that the descriptions that we have of the man are very good, we're very hopeful that he can be identified.
Now, Alan Smith, besides these incidents that we filmed here, you believe that there may have been other encounters, other attacks in the area as well, don't you?
Yes, I do. All the indications I have are that this man will have offended on other occasions that we're unaware of. We know of an incident that took place in the Beach Boulevard area of Aberdeen 3 weeks ago, where a young woman flagged down a passing motorist. Now, she was in a hysterical condition. Something had obviously happened, but we've been unable to trace her. Now, I'd also like to find out who she is. And similarly, I would like to appeal to any woman who think that they may have had an encounter with this man, maybe to a lesser degree, to come forward and speak to us. It would be vital to the inquiry.
So what do we know about him, then?
Well, apart from his descriptions, we feel that he's either from Aberdeen or the northeast of Scotland. He's obviously very confident working in the area of Balgownie Beach, and for that reason, again, I would like to appeal to anyone who uses that area on a regular basis. If you feel you've seen the man or someone who resembles the EFITs or anything suspicious, please phone in.
Yes, now we've seen these EFITs now. Which one would you say resembles the attacker best?
There are broad similarities between all three. The characteristics of all three in relation to height, age, build and hair colour are very similar. However, we do feel that the EFIT provided by victim number 1 is our best impression.
Right.
And in essence, we're looking for a man who's in his mid-20s, average height, very slim, fit build, and with dark, short hair.
Briefly, Alan, we've got a shoe which may or may not be significant, haven't we, which was found near the scene of the third attack, I think.
That's correct. This training shoe, as you said, was found in the area of the third attack, a short distance from where it took place and in the general direction that the attacker fled. Now, it may be unconnected, but we would like to eliminate it from the inquiry. It's an Adidas Tech trainer, size 11, and we would appeal to anyone who knows how it got there to phone in. Similarly, anyone who knows anyone who owns such a pair, no longer does, please phone in.
OK, Alan, thank you very much. It may belong to a cyclist as well, judging by the wear pattern on the sole. We don't want to know where you buy the shoe, we just want to know who it may belong to. Now, maybe you've an idea who he is, maybe you've encountered him yourself, in fact. Either way, please help to make sure he's caught. Every detail helps, as you know. Now, there's our number here in the studio, and if you want to ring the incident room in Aberdeen, you can call them on 01224 713 080. That's Aberdeen, 713 080. Now, Detective Constable Jackie Haynes.
And I have 3 serious drug offences. We don't think they're connected, but in each case we've got some good pictures. First, Andrew Peter Maudsley. He's 33, 5'10", and has tattoos on both arms. He travels around the country with bikers. His hair may now be shorter. Along with a large quantity of controlled drugs, we've found various firearms accessories, so please don't approach him. And this is Mark Anthony Haynes, in his late 20s, tall and heavily built, and often with a ponytail. He's been charged with possession of a large quantity of Class A drugs, but jumped bail. If you've seen either of these two, please ring police in Derby on 01332 290 100. That's Derby 290 100. And finally, to Andrew Shacklady, who is considered to be highly unstable and dangerous. He's wanted in connection with a string of offences, causing death by dangerous driving, and attempted murder with a shotgun, and perverting the course of justice, as well as supplying heroin and cocaine. He's 25, 5'10", and stocky. Call for help rather than approach him, and if you can help now, ring the Lancashire Police Headquarters on 01772 410 828. That's Preston 410 828.
2 matching names in one case, but please don't call us any more about this RS screwdriver or the electrician's bolster. We know all we need to know, except whose they were and if they can be somehow tied to someone in North London. We now go to the centre of Leeds, and one of those sad stories of someone out to pick a fight. In this case, the victim was a gentle giant called Andrew Batten. Andrew had lost contact with his father 7 years ago, but his dad was trying very hard to trace him through the Salvation Army, through the Ed Stewart show on Radio 2, and tragically, just before he did so, Andrew died. West Yorkshire Police have put together this compilation. It's a taxi rank in Vicar Lane in Leeds at about midnight on Friday the 13th of October. Andrew is distinctive because of his size. Now, most of the others in the queue have since been traced, but not the couple on the end at the right. The man seemed to take offence at Andrew, though Andrew didn't respond. The man then hit him, and Andrew fell down. He died later in hospital of head injuries. The assailant ran off across the road, followed by his girlfriend, and when someone gave chase, the killer threatened him. The girlfriend could be an accessory to murder, and she really ought to come forward. This is roughly what she looked like. Who is she? And have you heard anything on the grapevine about her or the man? Call us here, please, or call the local police on 0800 318 001. That's a free call number, 0800 318 001.
Next to New Bond Street in London's West End. It's Monday, the 30th of October.
The buzzer went. This was the first time we'd seen these 2 gentlemen. They said they were looking for a clock for a birthday present for their sister. They asked the price, at which point Eric gave the price. They haggled the price, and then they said thank you very much, and then they left. If somebody goes to buy something the first time, and they go away, they think about it, and then they come back with all intentions, one would have thought, to purchase the goods that they'd haggled the price on in the first place.
Well, they came in to ask about the clock. I got up and went over to the cabinet where the clocks are and showing it to them. And before I knew it, the tall of the 2 pulled out a gun, said this is a robbery, put it to my head. I was in terrible shock. I just couldn't believe it was happening. And of course my first worry was they were completely undisguised, and what would happen when they finished. I was marched into this room with a gun at the back of my neck, and when he noticed Terry, both Terry and I were made to lie down on the floor. Both were tied up and gagged, tied hands and feet. As soon as the tension was drawn away, he looked in the other room, I managed to push the panic button and got back on the floor again. And then I untied Terry's feet.
I got out the first security door, but fumbled on getting out the second one. And at that point, they realised what had gone on. One of them joined me between the security doors, wrestled me to the ground, and hit me on the head. I followed them right the way down. I wasn't aware how much blood I was losing from the wound on my head. And they turned into Brook Street, but at that point, there were so many people around that I'd lost them.
That's an experience which I'm sure nobody wants to go through again. And it's just horrible that people can come up and just do these things to you, pull a gun on you and knock and beat you up just for the sake of robbing you.
Well, it was an extremely violent attack. 2 of the staff were pistol whipped and obviously they all feared for their lives. Now here's another look at the suspects. As you can see, they were smartly dressed and they had strong foreign accents. The taller man in particular had a good command of English. Now, from the witnesses' descriptions, they may be Italian, or one suggests that perhaps one of them is Arabic. Now, they may have been in London staying on the 30th of October or the 1st of November. If they stayed in a hotel or a flat, or if you know them, then obviously give us a call. Ron Harvey is in charge of the case. What did they steal, Ron?
Well, they stole a large quantity of very distinctive and unique antique jewellery. I've got pictures of some of the items. This is a large diamond bow brooch, unusual because of its size.
Now, what makes you think...
And this is a 1940s diamond and ruby bracelet. This is an unusual Art Deco black enamel gem set bracelet. And this item, a flamingo brooch, is particularly identifiable because it's a copy of the Cartier brooch made for the Duchess of Windsor. And lastly, you notice the centre stone is missing from this diamond pendant.
Well, all very distinctive items there, Ron. Thank you very much. And just an incentive, there is a huge reward offered here. And here's the number. It's 0500 600 600, or you can call the incident room direct on 0181 247 7931. That's 0181 247 7931.
Wherever you live, there's one man to look out for. His real name is Sami Lofty Mohammed Gomgui. You may know him as Sami Lofty, or indeed of 17 other names, including George Jenkins. He's Tunisian, but he's obtained an Irish passport with the name Michael Murphy Fogarty. He visits Muslim and Asian communities, telling people his child has died, usually of leukemia, and asking for money to transport the body home. He seems to have made a fortune. This is what he sounds like.
You remember, what did they say to your dad when they come last time? Just I want to know for the record.
At lunchtime today, Merseyside CID rang us to say they'd found a jacket last night covered in blood in Toxteth. They think it belongs to Sammy. So if you've seen him or can help in any way, please call 0500 600 600. It's a free call. Or call the incident room direct on 0115 967 2496. That's Nottingham, 967 2496.
2 or 3 months ago in border country between England and Wales, there were 2 highly uncommon, almost bizarre raids on isolated homes. In both cases, 3 men were involved, 2 of whom are thoroughly sadistic, so much so that we shall only hint at their behaviour. The first of these attacks seems to have been reconnoitred by the gang. One Tuesday evening in late August, 3 strangers in a car were noticed near Crickhowell in the Pregan Beacons.
Mo Francis was giving driving lessons on a horse and trap at about 6 p.m. on Tuesday, August the 22nd.
The car behind us, we'll have to pull in down here. Would you put your left hand out, please? Thank you. Once they'd gone past, I thought it looked a bit of a motley crew, but didn't think any more about it. When the car came back the other way, they pulled in to let me get past, and I had a better look at them. They were driving a white hatchback. There were 3 young men in it, round about the age of 20 to 30. One in the back seat I couldn't see very clearly. The passenger was dark, but the one driving, he had a very long face with crew-cut hair, light brown in colour.
A couple of 100 yards away and 16 days afterwards, late Thursday night, September the 7th.
My God! What do you want? Come on! Get out! I got nothing. Come on! I promise you, I haven't got anything. Just a few quid in that drawer there. You got some somewhere!
There were three of them demanding money, asking me over and over again, where's your money? And they beat me. Our whole deal went on for about 2 hours.
Then, 5 hours after that, and 35 miles away, a man made a phone call from Crimewatch in Herefordshire.
Hello, Kestrel.
Do you know of any Mr. Morris who lives on a farm?
No, sorry.
Is there a lane opposite you?
Yeah.
Are you listening carefully?
Yeah.
This isn't a cranky phone call, but a man's been robbed and he's tied to the settee. Call the police.
The ambulance is on its way.
I used to be more agile and self-supporting, but now I'm depending more on my family.
Can you bring the property with you? And your land?
Gary, I've got some more actions for allocating. How are your inquiries coming on?
Well, I've got 4 here. I'm waiting for Abergavenny to come back to us. Apparently some inquiries are looking promising.
I think you better have a look at this. It's a similar robbery that's occurred in the Shrewsbury area.
I've just seen your telex.
The MO was very similar.
3 offenders, the victims tied up is very much like your case.
Oh, and also, like your attack, our offenders went for somewhere remote.
Yeah, dear. I'm just going to take Sophie for a walk.
OK, I'll get ready for bed in a minute.
In the 20s. Get out! Come on. Get off my back, you'll kill me! I'd recently had open heart surgery, and when these people jumped on me and pinned me to the ground, sitting on my back, I thought then that it had all been a waste of time. Any moment now, my chest would just give way and my heart would stop. Joe! Joe! Oh my God! Bloody shut up with you! The next one's on your head, you old bastard. Now where's the bloody money? We don't have any money. We don't keep anything here. You're lying! There were 3 of them. The first one was approximately 6'1", 6'2" inches tall, quite well built, muscular. Second fellow, he was average about 5'10", medium build. And the third one was a smaller fella, 5'6", and a very distinctive speech impediment. We've got no money. Please take what you want. Please don't hurt us. Where's the bloody money? Where is it? Where is it? We don't keep it. Come on!
These 3 men were very violent indeed. They threatened us. They blinded our little dog in one eye. They beat the other 2 dogs. And they kept us for 5 hours. We're going to leave now. We need to get hold of someone you know. Their phone number. Someone who can come and let you go.
Yeah. 016.
Hello? Do you know Joe and Nan from the Clive at Nestcliff?
Yes.
This is not a hoax. Get someone out there.
Who is this?
This call box on the outskirts of Hereford City is only 6 miles away from the one used in the previous attack.
We're trying to come to terms with it by just trying to block it out. If we just can't. We just can't block this out. This was a sadistic crime. It terrified us. And we will never be the same again, ever.
These weren't just vicious. I mean, the ferocity of this was almost beyond belief, wasn't it?
Yes, these men were incredibly violent. They tortured their victims. It's imperative they are caught before they attack again. They're the sort of people to have a group around them, and I'm sure they would have told other people about these offences. And there is a substantial reward for information leading to conviction of these offenders.
Now, it's also possible they could be traced, of course, through the stolen property. Particularly, there was some jewellery that they took in one of the robberies.
Yes, from Nestcliff a quantity of jewellery was stolen. We have some artist impressions. This is a lady's heavy gold belted chain with a gold cross and Krugerrand insert, a string of pearls in groups of 8 with tiger eye spaces, a lady's princess ring consisting of a large ruby pyramid, a 9-carat gold padlock on a gold safety chain. The padlock's inscribed Love Joe on the reverse, and a gold filigree ingot ring.
And from the Crickhowell raid, a shotgun identical to this. Well, actually not identical, because this is 16-bore. The one taken, I gather, was very rare. It was a 20-bore version of this.
That's right. A 20-bore is rather unusual. It's exactly the same as this in every other respect, double-barreled with a hammer action and about 90 years old.
Now, what do you know about the men, the 3 of them?
They were young men, 2 aged about 21, possibly younger. They had Welsh border accents, and we believe they have links in Herefordshire because of the phone calls made from there. Most importantly, the youngest and smallest offender had a speech impediment.
There was some indication that he was less violent, even a restraining influence on the other one.
That's right, he did, in actual fact, prevent some violence being offered to the victims.
OK, now, the men in the car, of course, we mustn't link them too closely. These could have been entirely innocent, but they could be involved in the attacks.
It's important we eliminate them if they're not involved. And the lady who saw the small white hatchback car particularly remembers one man. He was 20 to 30 years with light brown crew-cut hair. He was clean-shaven with a long, thin face and a square jaw. OK, incidentally, one of the people who rang from the phone box had a South Wales accent. These were really odious crimes. If you can help, please don't hesitate. Our free call number has 40 detectives and BBC researchers waiting here. Or you can ring the incident room. That's on 01743 232 888. That's Shrewsbury 232 888.
Well, the phones have been busy tonight. Let me tell you so far what we've been hearing about the holiday fraudsters. We've had a good lead on the name and address of those people, possibly. We also had a call from a possible victim of theirs. On the Aberdeen attacks, several names have been suggested, and we've also had a call from someone who possibly knows another of his victims. John Eden murder, one name has been suggested, which police say looks particularly interesting. Andrew Peter Maudsley, someone who thinks that they bought drugs from him recently, and it continues. Incidentally, let me tell you now some news we've had about a case we've now featured twice on Crimewatch. It's the murder of Julie Finlay, a 23-year-old from Liverpool who was found strangled in August last year. Last month, Detective Chief Inspector Francis Ewell revealed that a motorist picked up a hitchhiker who seemed uncomfortable as they approached the lay-by where Julie's body had been dumped on the night of our programme. A barmaid who worked at the Pavilion pub in Billinge, Merseyside, rang to relate a similar story, and her description of the man matched. Now, what's more, the man divulged things which could only be known to someone who really was at the scene on the night of the murder. It's possible this man was an innocent witness, but a vital one, because he says he saw the killer. Now, if it was you, or if you know who that man might be, do please ring us right away. It's vital. The number 0500 600 600.
Just possible you'll know 2 men who robbed newsagents in Stoke Newington in North London. The 2 hung around and the owner became suspicious. At this point, one man produced a knife. During the scuffle, the newsagent's wife heard the commotion. She tried to intervene, protecting herself with a plastic bottle. One of the robbers kicked out, grabbed some money and ran for it, but not before one of them was bitten by one of the shopkeeper's dogs. If you know them, please call and tell us who they are. 0500 600 600, or you can ring the local police on 0171 275 3262. That's 0171 275 3262. And now to Aladdin's Cave. Police stings against burglars through Operation Bumblebee, as you know, are having big results, and Norfolk police have made one of their biggest seizures of stolen property ever. It might have been accumulated over several years. It could come from anywhere in the United Kingdom. Here is Eric Knowles.
Okay, we're going to start with a little bit of monkey business here. Here's an endearing little chappie, maybe German, maybe French, late 19th century, and he's obviously been well played with because, bless him, he's lost quite a little bit of his hair here. Now, if he was playing for a drink, he'd be well served by 4 pewter measures we've got here, and each one is inscribed with a name, and that name just happens to be of a well-loved British bird. Now, getting cryptic, here are a pair of paintings with a dental connection. I'm not going to say any more than that, but they're a lovely pair of Oil on Board by R. Hilda, and I particularly love this particular painting because I love this little composition down here. A little boy and a girl, and they're tending the cattle and the sheep. Good old country folk. Now, if you're looking for an aristocrat, we can give you one, because here he is, and he is a certain lord. Now, I know exactly who that lord is, and obviously, if that's your painting, you will know also the name of that lord. Now, if he was to have bacon and eggs for breakfast, he just might have had it out of an entree dish such as this. It's one of a pair, and inscribed underneath the lid are 3 initials. Now, a quick dash to the Orient here, and let me introduce you to a Japanese carving. It's ivory. It's actually of a drum maker in this case, and he's just about to light his pipe. Fabulous quality, around about 1900 in date. And let me tell you that diamonds, they may well be a girl's best friend, but no self-respecting Victorian lady would turn up her nose if she found this set of garnet jewellery in her Christmas stocking. And just remember, the items that I've just shown you in the last couple of minutes are very much the tip of the iceberg. I can assure you there's an awful lot more where this lot came from up there in Norfolk.
And the number to call if you recognise anything here, 01603 768 769. That's Norwich, 768 769.
And that's it for this month. Our lines are open until midnight, 0500 600 600. That's for any of our cases. As you see, we've been busy tonight, but if you've any information, do please keep trying. I promise you will get through eventually. And if you know something on any crime we haven't covered, then call Crime Stoppers. They're on 0800 555 111. That's 0800 555 111.
We will be back on January the 25th, returning to our Thursday slot. Do please join us then. But don't forget that we'll be back tonight with Crimewatch Update, everything we can reveal about what's happening as the calls come in tonight. That's Crimewatch Update at 11:05. And if you can't stay up till then, please don't have nightmares. Have a happy, carefree Christmas. Good night.
Good night.